Hello, this is Donna Reiners, and this is Intentional Monday on Tuesday. Yes, I've had a lot of changes going on, and so I have not kept a schedule. I did have people privately contact me and ask me why on earth I was not, just a second, tagging somebody, why I was not available on Friday for Friday Fellowship, and then why we didn't have our normal Intentional Monday. So I apologize. I usually don't get a whole bunch of viewers here, and so when I get private messages, it makes me remember that people watch afterwards, you know? So most people who do live videos like people to be live right here. It's like, oh yes! However, a lot of people do watch later, so that's always a good thing. Anyhow, I was remembering a statement that was made over the weekend about giving people the bird, you know? And we all know what give them the bird means, right? And then in the context, someone said, yeah, give them the dove. I thought, yeah, that's a little bit more mature, don't you think? Give them the dove instead of give them the bird. Because, you know, you can have, hey, I'm from the Houston area, and so there's all sorts of things like road rage that folks go through on the road while they're driving, and someone cuts them off, and they're giving them the bird. Or someone has their cart in the grocery store, and you rub up against somebody who's angry or upset, and they want to give you the bird. Because emotions can cause you to act in ways that you wouldn't act like normally, right? And so give them the bird took on a whole new connotation for me on the weekend when someone said, give them the dove. I thought, well, how do you give somebody the dove? Well, first of all, you have to make a decision in private that when someone rubs you the wrong way, that you're going to be in peace. And interestingly enough, you can't just make a decision about you remaining in peace. You have to make a decision about, when someone else gets rubbed the wrong way. You also have to be on guard to be in peace. So you got two things going on. You got the person who rubs you the wrong way, and you want to give them the bird. And then you have those times when you rub somebody the wrong way, and they want to give you the bird. And you either get anxious or you get angry. Because if you haven't decided already in private that when someone else gets upset with you that you're going to remain in peace, more than likely you're going to lose your cool. You might go to pieces. You might just give them the bird. But if you decide in private ahead of time that even when you upset someone else and they get mad at you, that you're going to remain in peace, and you would remember to remain in peace. You remain in peace when you would normally get upset. And so give them the dove. Give them the dove. Be determined ahead of time that when someone rubs you the wrong way, that you're going to take a deep breath, and instead of justifying your anger, instead of justifying how you feel about the situation, that you're going to remain in peace. Because even if somebody doesn't make you angry and you have something happens that so upsets you, it's very easy to roll into the area of giving yourself the bird. And see, this is the thing. This is the thing about anger. This is the thing about going in pieces. This is the thing about frustration. This is the thing about extremes in our emotions. That we direct it towards someone else, and we might feel justified. We explain it. We come up with this long dissertation on why it makes sense. Why it makes sense that we feel this way, or why it makes sense that we feel that way. The problem is, when you're upset with someone else, your physical body doesn't know that you're not upset with you. So though you may be frustrated, and you may be angry, and you might be upset, and you might be justified in how you feel toward this injustice that's taking place against you, when your response equals their action against you, your body doesn't know that it's not directed toward you. Your body thinks it's about you. And I tell you what, if you can grab a hold of that one single thing, the one single thing that when you get upset with somebody else, your body thinks you're upset with you, I'm telling you what, you will solve years of trauma. Years of trauma. You can retrain yourself for years of trauma if you will choose from a deep place that no matter how much somebody triggers you, that no matter how much somebody comes against you, that no matter how much they rub against you the wrong way, want to hurt you, want to retaliate against you, want to talk about you, want to slam you, if you will choose ahead of time in the deep place that no matter what somebody punches at you, you're going to remain in peace, then guess what? You won't be throwing your pieces at them, and those daggers won't come back at you. And your body, your physical body will remain at peace. And listen, the beauty is you can keep your mind at peace. Sometimes we literally physically react and we haven't even thought about it yet. We don't even know why we're reacting. I know people, that will wake up after a rage and not know what happened. It's like they blacked out from being so mad and they went berserk and they had absolutely no way and no memory of what they did because they were so angry. Why? Because they were triggered. Listen, there's some things that are inside your physical body that you're not even aware of. There are sometimes you're in a situation and you react a certain way and you have no idea why you reacted that way. And yes, I hear you, Allie. Offense is a bait of Satan. But you know what? It's not just a bait of Satan. It's not just that simple. It's not. Sometimes you're hurt. Sometimes you're abused. Sometimes you're, listen, I'm getting deep, but raped as a child and you're angry and you got distress on the deep inside. And so you press it in and you repress it because you have no right to talk about it. And then later in life, it comes out in your marriage, or it comes out in a situation where somebody's coming against you or somebody's rubbing you up against the wrong way. And you don't even know why you feel the way you feel because it's buried so deep inside. So listen, this is what I'm saying. If you will, first of all, if you will decide deep inside that when somebody rubs you the wrong way, you're going to choose to not react. And listen, that's difficult because when you have trauma trapped inside of you and there's a bunch of junk going on that's triggering you left and right, you don't even know what's happening and you react and you don't even know how you got there. You wake up outside on the ground, you wake up driving down the road, coming out of yourself going, how did I get here? What am I doing? Because it's trapped inside. And so while you're on the way to where you're going, where you're on the way to getting that place within you filled with peace, while you're on the way to healing that place inside of you that you don't understand and you don't even get why you feel that way, while you're on the way to going there, make a solid, strong, deep decision. Listen, this may sound silly, but when you hit the snooze 5 times and you finally get up, that's the same place of decision making. That's the same place. It's that decision part. So inside of you, think for a moment what it feels like for you to make a decision. Think for a moment what it feels like for you to brush your teeth, for you to decide simple things. Listen, those simple decisions are it's the same decision-making place as the big decisions. It may not feel as weighty. It may not feel as strong. It may not feel like a big deal that you got out of bed. It may not feel like a big deal that you decided to brush your teeth or you decided to cook something or you decided to take a drive. But that place of decision-making, that is the place where you make a new decision inside to remain at peace when somebody throws at you their pieces. Listen, people throw their pieces at us all the time. And most of the time, it's not on purpose. Most of the time, people aren't doing things on purpose. Most of the time, people aren't negative on purpose. Most of the time, people are negative out of a place where they've just been doing it so long, they don't even know they're negative. Well, I'm just telling it like it is. Or this X plus X equal this, when really X plus X equal this opportunity. But when you only see through the lens of where you got hit, then your body just sees the hit, whether it's them or whether it's you. So, make a decision deep inside that when somebody is going to rub you the wrong way, and listen, it may not, right now I'm talking about mostly about anger, frustration, the kind of things that make us go bam, 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 right? That place. But that place is also the place of sadness, of loneliness. It's the same place of paranoia. It's the same place of feeling rejected. It's the same place of resentment. It's the same place of feeling forsaken. The same place of feeling abandoned. It's the same place of feeling fear. It's the same place of being paralyzed on the inside, or feeling like you've been torn in two or split into 1,000 people. It's that same place. But you can't make that decision when you're in the moment normally, because normally you're being triggered and you don't even know you're part of the reason there's a problem. Normally you think they're the problem. They're the issue. They made me mad. They made me sad. They ticked me off. They did this, they did that. But your reaction, your response that you feel like you're so justified in is actually a partnership with that same emotion. It's the same emotion. It's no different. It just might look different because A, it's your emotion, or B, it might be at an extreme. So for instance, let's talk about control for a moment, shall we? Someone over here wants to control you, and you grew up being controlled, and you don't like it. But most of your life you were controlled, and you had no choice about being controlled because it was my way or the highway from your family. So then you grow up, and 20 years later, you're in a situation where someone is trying to control you. Maybe you married somebody who's controlling you. Maybe you're in a employee-employer situation where they're controlling you. Maybe you're in a friendship with someone and they're trying to control you. But all you feel on the inside is that they're controlling you. That place inside of you that was so accustomed to being controlled because it made you feel safe when you were a kid, even though it might have made you not feel safe, it was still all you knew. And when it's all you knew, that's your safety. That's why some people leave from situations where they've been abused to move into situations where they continue to be abused, because it's actually a culture or a lifestyle on the inside of them that fits them on the inside. And it's never done on purpose. It's never done, hey, I think I'm going to marry somebody who's going to abuse me. Or, I think I'll go work for somebody that wants to verbally abuse me every day. Nobody really thinks like that. But on the inside, we attract the very place we're not healed in. So, back to decision making. Remember, this is an Intentional Monday on Tuesday. Back to decision making. If you will decide in private, a solid place inside, that when you get pushed over that edge, that you're not, when you get pushed to the edge, that you're not going to go over the edge. If you'll decide ahead of time that when that person goes to hurt you, or that person goes to anger you, or that person says something that you disagree with so heavily that you just want to not see them again, if you will decide ahead of time that you're not going to allow that to happen, if you will choose ahead of time, hey, I'm going to remain in peace no matter what. I'm going to remain in peace. And when their pieces are thrown at me, I'm not going to take my own pieces out and throw them back at them. If you will do that long enough, day after day after day, week after week after week, year after year after year, eventually you will find a place of P-E-A-C-E inside of you. In place of the P-I-E-C-E-S. You will find peace. Listen, you know, if you can in your mind right now, picture a glass of Coke, Coca-Cola, and you start pouring water in it. Slowly but surely, the Coke will overflow and only the water will remain. It's the same thing with the emotions. When you get hit with all these things that cause you to think you're going crazy, that cause you to think you're going to lose your mind, that cause you to want to hurt somebody because you feel like they're hurting you, if you will decide ahead of time to remain in peace, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, and the word rejection comes to mind. When someone rejects you, how it makes you feel on the inside. If you will remain in a place where you do not allow yourself to feel rejected, if you will choose not to feel rejected, even if you have to say, you know what, this is my protection. That rejection is my protection. If you will just turn it and remain in that place, eventually when rejection comes towards you, it won't impact you. And that place inside of you will slowly but surely be healed because it will turn to the water and it'll no longer have that Coke in there. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Listen, God doesn't want us to give anybody the bird. He wants us to give them the dove. And in that place, if you will take on that place of peace, the dove of peace, eventually they won't give you the bird and you won't give them the bird, and peace will be on both ends because you'll be attracting peace to you instead of the pieces of anger and the pieces of loneliness and the pieces of abandonment and the pieces of paranoia and the pieces of all the unhealthy things. Eventually it will no longer have its grip on you. Now, don't shoot me down, but there's this whole movement of, well, you need to cut off toxic people from your life. So you might wake up one day and decide, you know what? I don't want these friends in my life anymore because they're toxic. Well, I just want to encourage you to consider this. At one time, when you became friends with them, you became friends because you were similar, and so you were toxic too. And would you have wanted someone to cut you out of their life? Would you have wanted someone to say, well, you know what? You're not good enough for me because you're toxic now. I just want to challenge you with this thought. Could it be that it is a lack of love on the inside, not a toxicity problem? What if the strongest toxin that's going on is a lack of love? So if their lack of love is coming toward you and you can't handle it, maybe it's because you lack the love to handle them. Maybe it's not so much they're toxic. Maybe it's not so much they're in pieces. Maybe it's you're in pieces too. So if you choose, make a new decision on Intentional Monday happening on Tuesday. Make a decision tonight in the quiet that when somebody rubs you the wrong way, you're going to take a deep breath and you're going to hold it and you're not going to say anything. You're going to count to 20. And maybe you won't even say anything back. Listen, and I guarantee the minute I give out this challenge, this is what I'm going to get challenged with every day until my Coke turns to water. So if you take it on, look for opportunities to love you and to love the people around you. This is Donna Reiners. I bless you today with Intentional Monday on Tuesday. I encourage you to go back from the beginning because I explained some principles along the way. It's not just as simple as the toxic issue. We worked from this place, moved to this place. It's not too long a video today. And so I encourage you to watch it. And I'd love to see your comments. I bless you today. Donna Reiners. Until soon. Bye-bye.